God, that could explode again. Oh man, it's out both sides. It has come out both sides.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary.
It could have hit our building.
Yeah. It's one of the point like that.
I've never seen anything like this. This is like a bad movie. I wonder if I can even get up there now. I wonder if I can make it to my orientation.
Oh, where's your orientation? Same place?
Yeah. It's gonna be hard to get there.
Yeah. Well, the trains will probably...
I don't know if the trains will run.
Yeah, I was going to come on the opposite look on that.
Oh, wow. Huh? Something just popped off. Like something was, see?
Oh, yeah. Pieces are falling. They've been shaking.
Oh my God.
That many floors? I mean, another hour, this would have been hundreds of people. Well, I can answer that question. Oh my God, the fire is totally spread. I wonder how much of the World Trade Center we're going to lose today. Oh my God!
Oh my
it just
God.
exploded.
Oh, that flew far.
What if it was a terrorist attack? That would be a way to take it out. Terrible day. That was just unreal. Wonder if they delivered. Francisco. Yeah.
I mean, if the flight's in the air, they're letting it land.
The president could have been at the Pentagon easily.
Yeah. What's going off the ceiling? The roof?
God.
What?
Over there.
That's the smoke.
Okay.
That's just the smoke. You're silent too. Yeah, I'm gonna go put on something better than what I have on.
we're safer staying here than trying to walk. Police.
I think it has to be military, I just don't see it. That's good. This is September 21st at approximately 2:30 in the afternoon. Just been let back in, and that is what's left of the World Trade Center. About 8:25 p.m. on September 21st, Susan and I have just moved home, and this is what we see from our window. Things are really creepy down here. Pretty much welcome to Beirut. Bush gave a really strong speech the other night. A lot of people keep talking about how wonderful it was and how he's grown as a president. I just keep thinking that this is not going to be the last sight we see like this in America. And I keep this as long as it seems appropriate, and run tape through it and talk to the camera. But right now, I just want to settle down and kind of get used to being home again. Hi, it's still September 21st. This is the view out of our other window. They've dredged out part of the Pier 25 area in order to make it deeper so they could bring in these heavy garbage barges. They've mounted a crane, and the crane is lifting material off the back of flatbeds that pull in periodically. You'd also see a large line of dump trucks that they're dropping material into, and the buses that the relief workers come in and out on. Down below is where we enter our apartment from. We have to cross up at Harrison, which is right there. That's our crossing point. We come across Harrison, walk along the highway, come to right about here, where these people are, and we're able to come up and along this path. As I said earlier, I now feel like I am living in Beirut, or some other country that's in the middle of a war. It looks like we're going to be this way for a long, long time. The barges down below, as I said, are being filled with debris from the site. As they take that debris off the back of the trucks, I wonder whether it's been sorted for bodies or not. At this point, they haven't found an intact body in days, so it's most likely they're just pulling it out, dumping it in, and they'll sort the parts after they take it to Fresh Kills or wherever it's going. It's rather amazing, the entire site. This is now where we live. Anyway, I don't know if that's it for tonight or not, but it's definitely not what I expected to be living in. Anyway, good night. Well, it's morning, about 10 a.m., September 23rd, and this is what the site looks like today. More and more cranes going up. It's been a couple days, I think, since I've dropped the shot. It's beautiful outside, at least as far as the weather's concerned. Last night, Susan and I came home, we kept changing our street crossings as we were lumbering around with 80, 90 pounds of junk between us. A couple of beers from going bar to bar to lug our stuff down from Canal. But we got in all right, got settled. Susan's doing the last of the laundry now.
Still September 23rd. Still morning. Just a few minutes later. This is the crane outside of our house picking up. See, they're dredging out to make this deeper. That, I believe, is currently the tallest building in New York. You know, we see almost the base of the Empire State Building. Welcome to another beautiful night here in southern Beirut. So they're clear away more and more crap with the large pieces of heavy equipment. They've brought even more big Tonka toys into our neighborhood. Today is the 24th of September. And as you can see, we've got quite a production line set up, clearing away debris and loading it onto barges. Let's take a look now at the site where they are still excavating. That's not the site of excavation. That's Frodo. Frodo! Aww. That's the excavation site. Give you some idea of how absolutely huge this equipment is. Take a look at the size of the debris it's clearing away. Check in on this later. Good night. Good morning. September 25th. October 1st, 8:38 a.m. .50 a.m., October 3rd. Good morning. It is more likely afternoon, 12:30, October 6th.
I just heard a loud boom.
I saw it actually
You,
happen.
you did? Was it a plane? That's what I was thinking. It was a terrorist attack. Bob said he heard it sounded like a rocket.
I heard a plane, it seemed like a plane went over, and
Yeah?
then I had the boom and I looked up and there was the thing exploding from the outside. Exploding to the outside, the whole, it looked like a...
Your mom said there was a plane driving over, flying over,
I
and
heard the noise
then...
of the plane.
Oh, she heard the noise of a plane, and then a
And
boom.
then it was like a bomb that dropped and all the building from the inside went out like there was an explosion from the inside going out.
Oh my God. I hope there was nobody at work. I hope there was no one there. That's what I'm thinking before 9.
What building is it, the building?
It's the World Trade Center.
Oh, yes?
Oh, I see fire engines. They're coming. Yeah, big one. What? My hand's shaking. I am. I'm trying to see if there's people up there.
This thing's slowing down.
I don't see people. It's just an incredible amount of smoke.
I thought the plane had crashed into there.
It is spreading. There's only one fire truck right now. They're going to have to get planes and drop water onto it. Because it's so high up. Oh, really? You heard someone talking to you said it's a plane? Oh my God, Lily's going to daycare there. Hold on, there's a call waiting. Hello? Hi. Oh my God. Do you see this? Oh, so they've got it on TV. Oh my God, I have it on. know, me too. I thought it was as well. This build, oh, you're right. Is that what they said? my god! Oh my god, what's happening? Really? I think it's all about the World Trade Center. Oh my god!
It was like a military plane.
It was a military plane. People are running away. Oh my god, we just saw it happen. Where's Bob? Oh my god. Oh. Babe, are you there?
We're okay, we're okay.
Yeah, they're attacking the World Trade Center, not us.
Where did it come in from?
From the south.
From the south?
Yeah.
The same building you went to?
Yeah.
Right there, it looked like it was going to come, and then it just been so low.
It was a huge plane.
Where did it fly into?
Babe, they're going to show it to you on here.
Up on the back.
I don't understand why they don't get like jet planes. The building's collapsing.
Oh my god, it's over! Oh my god!
Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. No, I think it was the building that's collapsed. Yeah.
Oh my god! Are we okay?
I think we're okay.
Oh my god, all these people! Oh my god! Look at they had children playing outside, that was silly.
You turn back on the roof now? Oh, did the power go off? Did we lose power? Yeah, we lost power.
People moving people out.
We won't be able to call it on the phone.
You can try. It's working?
Is it working?
Yeah.
That's a Marriott Hotel.
It's important to join us as they do in moments like this where they're coming all the time, that they're going to get attacked.
People are jumping now. They're.
Oh my God!
Oh my. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I told you! Oh my God! All these people! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh, it's awful.
Oh baby, hold Lily. Oh my God!
Come on, let's go to the other room. God.
Is this dangerous?
I think it's just smoke.
There's no danger of other buildings.
Is the air conditioner turned off in the room? And the windows closed in the bedroom?
People near the area are in an absolute frenzy situation. The entire top of the building just collapsed.
The entire building just collapsed.
Building just collapsed.
We're going to leave because the smoke is coming right at us.
Obviously, this is a devastating development in our district. They're gone. The World Trade Center is no more. We do not know at this point the extent of injuries or casualties, how many people were in these buildings trying to get out. We've seen some gut-wrenching.
Oh, people are running away. They're running away.
Hanging out of windows.
What are they going to do? You guys got to run away.
You see the obvious.
Look at the plume.
All right, let's go to ABC News right now.
I think it's going to be blown away from us. No, it's the windows being blown away.
Horrific, incredible, not to be believed. Tuesday morning, you were looking at live pictures of the World Trade Center where just a few minutes ago, within the last minute actually, the second Twin Tower collapsed. Just to recap, if you're just joining us, around 8:42 Eastern Time this morning here in New York City, a plane crashed into the right Twin Tower of the World Trade Center about 2/3 of the way up the building, leaving a huge gaping hole, a huge fire. and tons of billowing smoke. About 25 minutes later, a second jet, believed to be a 727 or a 737,
757.
then crashed in the second twin.
All these people running away.
Yeah. Brigitte, this happens every day, right, in the Middle East? You think to yourself, how lucky we are. We've never had this horrible thing
So
happen
true.
before.
You're right.
And just imagine living. Masaki went through all of this during the war. All his house was, you know, bombed. And
Oh, really? Oh, really? You know, this is the documentarian in me that feels like I need to record this.
You have to do that, Brigitte. Just think.
Oh, look at like all the ashes. It looks like it's snowing. There's people getting onto the west side now, onto the walkway.
We're just completely oblivious to it, their location.
It's just all smoke. Out of the World Trade Center building.
I'm just thinking
People.
of the body parts, that's what I think to myself.
Oh, God.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh, my God.
I'm just so sad.
I know.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there for the, you know, next week.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, thank you, God. But I'm just saying, as soon as you thank God, you realize that other people
Yeah.
are just so absolutely devastated. So it said Brigitte, you know, later on I might try and go to hospitals. See if there's anything I can do to help. And everything's, you know.
I have a feeling that the only thing is that it's just going to be so hard to move around. I think you're just
Well, I'll
missing.
just take, if there's anywhere I can walk to that they have a hospital. So
But even walking around, I mean, it's just a disaster. It's like a no man's land out there.
well, I'm not going to do anything that's, you know, that adds to the misery. So I'm glad you got home earlier.
Yeah.
Brigitte.
God. Oh, my God.
So you see On the Beach, did you see that movie?
No. What was it?
The nuclear war.
Oh, God, I'm glad I didn't.
No?
It's just smoke.
And we felt the whole ground, the whole building shook.
In fact, our cameraman even put one of the captains in his car and drove him down to a command post. The people that you see
Thanks,
here
guys.
are pretty much all emergency workers. Many of them that I've seen in the last 2 to 3 minutes, quite frankly, are coming out of here. And remember this, these are professionals. They're coming out of there looking literally stunned, in shock, many of them, struggling for breath. Obviously, in serious distress, breathing problems are the biggest problem for those who manage to make it safely out of
Oh, my God, there's no more World Trade Centers.
You can't see much more than a block south of me right now. And the World Trade Center probably stands about 10 blocks south of where I am at this moment. And as you can see now, the dust is beginning to pick up here. It really depends on which way the wind blows as to whether or not we get heavy dust or not. But at this point,
All the ground with all the ash.
Yep.
That building I was referring to that was on fire, I didn't know at the time what it was. I learned later, and also learned just how lucky myself and my photographer Terrence were. That was 7 World Trade Center. 30 minutes after I got out of there, it collapsed. 30-some stories. I have one other note that I just want to put by. This is probably the darkest day in the history of New York City, if not the history of the United States. But if you're looking for some inspiration, just 10 minutes ago, I wasn't too far from where the Tower Number 1 and Tower Number 2 went down, and I saw a car completely covered with soot. And on that car, somebody wrote, "This won't stop New York." So if you're looking for inspiration, hang your hat on that.
What have you heard, if anything, about biological entities? There had been that issue raised earlier that perhaps anthrax and the like might have been part of this attack today. What have you heard?
Well, certainly there's a lot of concern of that around here. I haven't heard anything concrete where there is definite, I won't even say speculation, definite feeling, if you will, that they believe that some sort of biological terrorism has been used. There's all kinds of speculation as to what has happened here. Was the plane loaded with explosives? Was the plane enough in and of itself to crash in the building to bring those two towers down? Because you'll see the video, and you've seen it 100 times. It looked like it was a controlled implosion. It didn't fall over. It looked as if somebody put TNT all throughout that building. It pancaked from floor to floor to floor.
Yes.
So, of course, there's speculation here that maybe these planes were loaded with C4 explosives or some type of explosives on timers. That if the plane itself didn't bring it down, that charges would go off and that eventually what happened would happen. But as far as biological attacks go, yes, it is a concern. How great of a concern, I don't think at this point.
There's a cop right at the window here. Fire. This is covered. Watch yourself, here it comes. Get close as we can. This building right here? Huh? This building? I'm going to walk outside and go up to the corner and see if we can scoot out and move in.
Enough of this filth. I get enough of it. If you want to get it. Okay, let's go. No. Go low to the corner. Follow me. Go, let's go. 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 More debris falling from the nearby building to World Trade Center. Yeah, West Broadway and Market. Very difficult to breathe here, but look around. This must have been ground zero where this thing blew up. Car after car after car. Buses. Completely obliterated. Behind me. That gaping hole, that's where one of the two towers stood. It's not there. Fire in this building. It's a surreal environment. It's almost impossible to describe. Again, except to make a war correlation. Whoever said somebody declared war on us, it certainly looks like it, doesn't it? Good. Stay off to the side. Let's go. Let's go. You got speed? Ready? Whenever you're ready. 3, 2, 1. We are in an abandoned skyscraper, and quite frankly, I don't even know where I'm at. I see a sign outside that just gives me a reference of Barclay Street. As you can see all around here, the windows have been blown completely out. And as we take a walk towards the front of the building here, you want to take a look outside. If you have never been to war, like I have never been to war, then this is what it looks like. We don't know what that building is. We don't know where this building is, but they're obviously on fire. Maybe there's a chance that they could collapse. I've been on this earth for 37 years. I've never been to a war, but I can only imagine that this is as close as I've ever come.
Just your side, that's all I need. Fucking nuts for going in there, bro. Get out!
Mike, pick it up, Mike. last one.
There's nobody up on 23?
No, they evacuated everybody down.
All right, they're probably going to the bus. Thanks.
Yeah. Did the side of the building come down?
I don't know. Something fell. What'd you see?
It was pretty clear at one point, and then there's a whole bunch of smoke and glass. And I think we're just about the last ones in this building right now. I think you should leave. Everybody else is gone.
Okay.
I'll just make sure that there's nobody else coming downstairs.
What do you think happened?
I hear the top of the building fell down. Fell over on us. I don't know. I haven't seen outside yet.
Have you, when were you here?
Pardon me?
Here after the planes landed?
As a matter of fact, we're standing right underneath 6th World Trade when the building actually, the plane hit it the first time.
Describe it.
Yeah, a plane, the engine screaming, and then just an explosion. Glass. Then everybody was running around trying to get away.
Tell me your name and spell it.
Bennett, B-E-N-N-E-T-T-E.
Sergeant?
No, Secret Service.
Secret Service? How do you want your title?
OST.
OST, thank you.
All right.
The dust is starting to settle. Just tell them to go slow.
I'm going to work right now in 5 minutes. I'll be right back. All right. You going to stay with him? You going to stay with him? Work with him. Stay with me. Okay, I'll double back.
What are you guys doing now?
We had a report of a fireman trapped over here on the northwest corner. So I want to make sure that we got people over there to help dig him out.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Just don't want to trip over here. Okay, I'm looking for the northwest tower. There's a bridge. Is that be over here or it's over this way? All right.
This one's for Larry Silverstein. Last time we talked, sir, I asked you if you could address some of the 9/11 conspiracy theories that you're accused of. Sadly, your response has actually invited more of them. I mean, for the record, everybody knows your infamous comments on PBS where you said pull Building 7 on 5/25 on the day of 9/11.
They were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
Your official response was that it was the firefighters. My question is, it was pretty clear that you meant the building, and if it was the firefighters, they already are outside the building by 12 because the water lines were broken.
Ask the question.
And the fire chief that you said you spoke to, Fire Chief Negro, denies talking to you on that day of 9/11. Can you answer those questions and address the theories against you?
I suggest, for everybody's consideration,
Just one question.
that we all look at the thousands of pages of testimony that have been rendered in the many years since 9/11, and let's use today's session for some of this.
Are you aware of testimony of bombs in the building before the building collapsed, sir? Are you aware of that testimony? Sir, there's testimony by Barry Jennings. Sir, you don't have to touch me. Listen, I'll walk away. All I'm asking is a question. I don't have to be kicked out. It's a legitimate question. You don't have to put your hands on me. But all I'm saying is, no, I'm not. I'm here asking. The question was not answered. That's why I have a grievance. Larry Silverstein was told not to come into work. That's why him, his daughter, and his son never showed up to work on 9/11. He put an insurance policy on the buildings. Reporters, do your job, please. Ask some questions.
So, all I can tell you is, I'm really thrilled that we're able to host.
Why don't you tell them how you pulled the building?
And all I can
Tell them how you pulled the building.
Enjoy.
Tell the truth, Larry. Tell the truth, Larry. Tell the truth about 9/11. Come talk to us. Come talk to us. If we're so wrong, come talk to us. Who was wrong? This building was a controlled demolition. 6.6 seconds. 47 stories tall skyscraper. Oh, demolition. 6.6 seconds. We're getting slaughtered. Criminal. Old 97s. Old 97s. Come talk to us. This man's a criminal. He's a criminal. He's going to jail. This man's a criminal. This building came down in a controlled demolition. 6.6 seconds.
Hello, I'm AJ Hammer live in New York City.
And I'm Brooke Anderson live in Hollywood. AJ, it's been incredible. Pretty hard to believe, actually, the response we got today to the incredible story Showbiz Tonight broke last night. Actor Charlie Sheen's startling claims that the government may be covering up what really happened on September 11th.
So many emails coming in. We've been really overwhelmed today. Between the emails, the blogs, the websites, everybody is writing and talking about it. Charlie Sheen made the comments during a hard-to-believe interview on a radio show. And don't move, because in just a moment, the host of the radio show, the guy who actually spoke with Sheen, is going to join me live here on Showbiz Tonight. But first, let's get you up to speed on the latest developments.
The more you look at stuff, especially specific incidents, specific events in or around the fateful day, it just raises a lot of questions.
The questions Charlie Sheen is raising about the 9/11 attacks are raising a lot of eyebrows. Our email inbox immediately started to overflow, and the coverage on Showbiz Tonight is getting a lot of attention. The website 9/11 Blogger calls Showbiz Tonight's coverage, quote, the first time a major news station has covered 9/11 questions in any reasonable format. It all started with a radio interview Sheen gave to GCN radio network host Alex Jones, a cult hero of sorts to 9/11 conspiracy theorists. Well, during the interview, Sheen made clear that he backs Jones' views.
We're not the conspiracy theorists on this particular issue. It seems to me like, 19 amateurs with box cutters taking over 4 commercial airliners and hitting 75% of their targets. That feels like a conspiracy theory.
Sheen also made another shocking suggestion that we may not know the full story about the collapse of the World Trade Center.
I have a hard time believing that a fireball traveled down the elevator over 1,100 feet and still had the explosive energy to destroy the lobby like it was described. I said, hey, call me insane, but did it sort of look like those buildings came down in a controlled demolition?
When I was your age, I could only dream about my parents splitting up.
As the star of the hit sitcom 2.5 Men, Sheen is seen weekly by about 10 million people, and many of them may end up paying attention to his controversial comments on 9/11. Welcome back to Showbiz Tonight. I'm AJ Hammer in New York. This is TV's only live entertainment news show. We have been getting an overwhelming response to our Showbiz Tonight question of the day. We've been asking, Charlie Sheen speaks out. Do you agree there is a government cover-up of 9/11? Here's the vote so far. 67% of you say yes. 33% of you say no.
This is Tom DeLong from Angels and Airwaves.
When you
kind of piece apart the way the buildings exploded, it seemed to echo the way big buildings are demolition. We can describe that 2 weeks before 9/11, there was teams of people that were entering the World Trade Center doing things that were unknown to most, shutting off the security systems and whatnot. We do know that the buildings were made to withstand incendiary temperatures thousands of degrees more than what was happening when it all went down. We do know that the buildings came down in a fashion extremely similar to a controlled demolition of a building. There's no possible way that it could have happened the way they describe. And we're talking about 60-70% of the American people are actually starting to think that there's a different story. Why are we, as Americans, sitting back and letting this happen to us? I think that this is a huge challenge for Americans to not let them be defined this way, and to actually stand up and do something that can not only better our own life, but better the world.
But you don't think Bin Laden knocked down the World Trade Center?
Absolutely not.
Come on.
I don't.
That's where you lose me.
Hey, listen.
And I'm so on your side.
And
But
go
you know
to
what?
any barbershop, I am so not alone. I am so not alone.
That doesn't mean you're right.
That don't mean that.
That don't mean you're right.
It don't mean that it's not valid neither. Science, highly educated people in all areas of science have spoken on the fishiness around that whole 911 theory. It's like the magic bullet and all that shit.
And what happened?
I don't believe these motherfuckers been to the moon neither, but that's just me.
Happy almost Easter.
Hey, back at you. Thank you.
You had some interesting comments. You were on a radio show and you talked about 9/11, and you have is it a theory, or you just don't believe the government account of what happened on 9/11?
I just had questions.
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions, and the forum I chose to voice those questions in is the Alex Jones radio show, and just because he's a guy that I've been a fan of and followed for a lot of years, and I got attacked. I mean, there were a lot of hit pieces. The reaction was
people get very mad when celebrities have opinions.
No, I understand. Yeah. I understand. I know he's not qualified. He doesn't. He's just who the hell is he to have an opinion about something so horrible? And it was sad because they didn't really take a look at any of the stuff I was asking them to look at, any of the evidence or any of the stuff that generated those questions. And they said, oh, he's another tinfoil hat wearing Hollywood clown. And it's like the only. I felt that the only real validation I needed was just being a tax-paying American that loves my country.
Yeah, and it's just something that you wonder about, and you would like to know more about. Sure. I assume. And did you study the tapes? And
I've done a lot of research, and it's not just me; it's the people that have come before me, the experts and the engineers and the physicists and the scientists and the scholars that raised a lot of these things. And I took a look at their research and said, yeah, it doesn't add up. A lot of it doesn't add up. Hence these questions, And there's two areas. There's Building 7, and there's the 5 frames from the Pentagon. Don't listen to me. Do your own research, But I think that, what happened to a time in this country when we were entitled, when we had a constitutional and a God-given right to be curious about things that didn't make sense.
Looks like 6 federal floors were taken out.
Hold on just a moment. We got an explosion inside.
The building's exploding right now. Looks like 6 federal floors were taken out.
Hold on just a moment. We got an explosion inside.
The building's exploding right now. You got people running up the street.
Okay.
What's going on?
Take a look at this rare, super slow motion video of Flight 175 that hit the South World Trade Center tower on 9/11/2001. Take a really close look, because there are 2 impossibilities I'm going to show you here. This video was allegedly shot by Michael Herzakani, a diamond merchant based in Los Angeles, California. In fact, I can't believe it took me over 12 years to see. Let me show you a still of this video. I've highlighted a building that's clearly behind the South World Trade Center tower. Yet when we pay close attention to the video, Flight 175's wing should appear in front of the building, not behind it. This is a layering CGI glitch, and this proves that this video, which was seen all over the world, over and over and over again, year after year, is a CGI rendering. Thus, it's not an amateur witness video. It's a fake. And this is one of many, many faked videos put out by the news media.
Looks like 6, 7 floors were taken out. And there's more.
Explosion inside.
Of the hole at the Pentagon was approximately 65 feet across, and the height of the Pentagon is approximately 73 feet. A 757 is 124 feet 10 inches. From nose to tail, a 757 is 155 feet and 3 inches in length, and the height is 44 feet and 6 inches. However, when you look at the hole at the Pentagon, you'll find that it's only approximately 65 feet across. How does a plane of those dimensions fit into a hole only 65 feet across? Upon further inspection, we found that the damage at the Pentagon was completely and totally inconsistent with the damage of the planes that had hit the World Trade Center. I mean, after all, the planes that hit the Trade Center created a fire so intense that it fatigued the steel and collapsed the buildings, or so that's what we were told. And yet, when you look at the left side of the Pentagon, you'll note that there is very little, if any, smoke damage or heat damage at all. On the third floor, it's very plain to see a file cabinet with a computer monitor. Neither of them are damaged. On the second floor, you can see a wooden desk. It hasn't burned. And on the first floor, a very curious sight indeed, a wooden stool with a book that is laying and open. The pages aren't even singed. Now, each of the planes involved in the September 11th attacks had embarked upon transcontinental flights, which means that they had a majority of their fuel left over when they hit their respective targets. That means that approximately 8,600 remaining gallons of fuel would have been ignited on the 757 that had hit the Pentagon. Again, we look at the photograph and ask ourselves, is the smoke and heat damage consistent with that amount of fuel being ignited?
The lawn would have been a mess. Instead, the lawn is perfectly smooth, green and smooth, which turns out to be, ironically, a smoking gun at the Pentagon.
Based on my years of experience, my study of airline accidents and incidents, it's my opinion that a Boeing 757 did not hit the Pentagon. There would be an abundance of wreckage, and that the official sources have not been able to produce the evidence of any wreckage. Large tail sections, indestructible landing gear, indestructible engines, wing spars, fuselage, seats, anything of the sort indicates to me that a 757 did not hit the Pentagon.
No Boeing 757 hit the building. There are multiple lines of reasoning that support that conclusion, including, for example, the complete lack of massive debris of the kinds and character that would be expected from a 100-ton airliner with a 125-foot wingspan and a tail that stands 44 feet above the ground. You don't find the seats, the bodies, the luggage, the tail, not even the engines were recovered, indicating that no Boeing 757 hit the building.
Supposedly, the 757 completely penetrated this hole without leaving any indication of where the wings would have penetrated. The windows are completely intact, both adjacent where the wings should have penetrated and knocked the windows out, and also directly above the hole where the elevated tail section would have penetrated.
I look at the hole in the Pentagon, and I look at the size of an airplane that was supposed to have hit the Pentagon, and I said, the plane does not fit in that hole. So what did hit the Pentagon?
Idea of how much
The terrorism in Boston.
Yeah.
Many people have wondered if it took you right back to 9/11 when you heard it.
I was deeply concerned that this could have been, another highly organized attack on the country. And it still may be. Again, I don't know the facts, but I do know that it's really hard to protect the homeland. Those who want to do harm only have to be right one time, and we have to be right 100% of the time. Whether it be that or the explosion at West Texas. I mean, it harkened back the days where you become the comforter in chief. In other words, you try to help heal souls that are hurting.
Mr. President, I do want to get right to the news of this week.
Sure.
The terrorism in Boston.
Yeah.
Many people have wondered if it took you right back to 9/11 when you heard it.
Well, at first, I was deeply concerned that there might have been a organized plot. I don't know all the facts. I don't think we all know all the facts, but I was deeply concerned that this could have been another highly organized attack on the country. And it still may be. Again, I don't know the facts, but I do know that it's really hard to protect the homeland.
In the crucible. Last week, the president of 9/11 watching the president of the bombings in Boston. The terrorism in Boston.
Yeah.
Many people have wondered if it took you right back to 9/11 when you heard it.
I was deeply concerned that this could have been, another highly organized attack on the country. And it still may be. Again, I don't know the facts, but I do know that it's really hard to protect the homeland. Those who want to do harm only have to be right one time, and we have to be right 100% of the time. Whether it be that or the explosion at West Texas. I mean,
why am I not surprised by that?
Well, I had all the fame I needed. I've decided to stay out of the limelight because, one, I'm comfortable with that decision, and two, I don't really want to undermine our president. And frankly, the only way for me to generate any news is to either criticize the president or criticize my party. I'm not interested in doing either.
The former president remembering what it is like in the crucible. Last week, the president of 9/11 watching the president of the bombings in Boston. The terrorism in Boston.
Yeah.
Many people have wondered if it took you right back to 9/11 when you heard it.
I was deeply concerned that this could have been another highly organized attack on the country. And it still may be. Again, I don't know the facts, but I do know that it's really hard to protect the homeland. Those who want to do harm only have to be right one time.
President, I do want to get right to the news of this week.
Sure.
The terrorism in Boston.
Yeah.
Many people have wondered if it took you right back to 9/11 when you heard it.
Well, at first, I was deeply concerned that there might have been a organized plot. I don't know all the facts. I don't think we all know all the facts, but I was deeply concerned that this could have been another highly organized attack on the country. This could have been, another highly organized attack on the country. And it still may be. I do want to get right to the news of this week.
Sure. The terrorism in Boston.
Yeah.
Many people have wondered if it took you right back to 9/11 when you heard it.
Well, at first, I was deeply concerned that there might have been a organized plot. I don't know all the facts. I don't think we all know all the facts, but I was deeply concerned that this could have been, another organized, highly organized attack on the country. And it still may be. Again, I don't know the facts, but I do know that it's really hard to protect the homeland.
The terrorism in Boston.
Yeah.
Many people have wondered if it took you right back to 9/11 when you heard it.
I was deeply concerned that this could have been, another highly organized attack on the country. And it still may be. Again, I don't know the facts, but I do know that it's really hard to protect the homeland. Those who want to do harm only have to be right one time, and we have to be right 100% of the time. Whether it be that or the explosion at West Texas. I mean, it harkened back the days where you become the comforter in chief. In other words, you try to help heal souls that are hurting. Well, at first, I was deeply concerned that there might have been a organized plot. I don't know all the facts. I don't think we all know all the facts, but I was deeply concerned that this could have been, another organized, highly organized attack on the country. And it still may be. Again, I don't know the facts, but I do know that it's really hard to protect the homeland.